Next up, we have some awesome fucking news, backtracking all that sort of bad news. The Batsuit was revealed by Matthew Reeves yesterday.
Holy sparkly vampires of fucking greatness.
It's so sweet.
God damn, dude. Like, he walked out like that shit was like... That's like when when you're walking into a store and you know exactly what kind of pair of shoes you want. Like, I want them large ones. No, dude, he looked badass, like walking out like that with the red light. I mean, you couldn't see it really well, which I guess was the point. Like, they had this weird red lighting. It was haunting music. It was like just deep and weird. And then you saw like the bat suit, but it was in that red tint, like I said. And then you see the bat symbol. Which, a little side note about that bat symbol. Have you been reading about that? About what they thought it might be?
It's a bad guy symbol.
No, they said, dude, it's fucking... I saw this thing on Facebook and they were like, that's metal as fuck.
Dude, literally metal.
It's metal, bro. And it's people like are confirming it, like not the people that are working the movies, but a lot of people are agreeing, like, yeah, that's definitely what it is. But if you look really close on the bat symbol itself, they said it's the broken pieces of the gun that killed his parents, and he fashioned it into the fucking bat symbol.
Fucking cool.
Metal as fuck.
That's metal as fuck.
I know. And then there was a lot of people that were spotting this, and they were talking about it. And this one girl was one of the first that noticed it, one of the journalists, and she said that they did that kind of storyline in Detective Comics 1000, where it was revealed that Bruce Wayne, underneath of his bat symbol, like he built in the gun pieces that killed his parents, Martha and Thomas Wayne, and he has it to protect him. But they fashioned, so it's a similar storyline, so they fashioned the bat symbol to look like the pieces of the gun.
That's so sick.
Dude, I know. It's fucking incredible.
I love that.
Just when you thought Robert Pattinson and his hair couldn't get sexier, they go and do something like this.
Now, the complaints I saw from it were people saying that it looks too much like Daredevil. I don't think that's a problem. I think that's just the red light that they used. I mean, that's why everybody's brain went there immediately. It looks like the hallway scene from Daredevil. But if you zoom in real close, and there's people online doing all sorts of color changes and stuff too. When they make it gray, it looks badass. But when they zoom in on the mask and you look really close to the mask, you can see it's like leathery and stitched together. So while this shit looks metal and like, you know, Tonka trunk,
metal as fuck.
This shit's like Catwoman type, you know, Batman Returns Catwoman type stitched together.
Well, you know, it's like yeah. And I saw somebody say, "Where's the chin strap?" It's like he doesn't need one yet. like I don't know. That's such a stupid thing to. And plus, the armor itself, like, I mean, again, you can't really see it that well.
He moves his shoulder ever so slightly just so you can see it.
So, well, I mean, you notice that there are like pieces that look like an actual armored version of it, and which I think is going to be like the Arkham Origins storyline that they used, where he's more armored up.
Well, it looks like the Arkham,
and that makes total sense. Like, yeah, of course, I mean, he would adapt more of a protective thing because he's not really confident in his abilities yet. With, you know, you got to work your way up to the underwear situation, and he's not ready there. Yeah. But at the same time, yeah, there's that part, and if the mask is like stitched together with like, you know, that's all right.
What if he gets shot in the head?
Well, what if I get shot in the head? He's like, well, that was a chance we were willing to take. But yeah, but still, dude, he looked badass, and the music was so fucking good. Dude, it was something it almost felt like a horror movie with Batman in it, which is exactly what I want. I hope they push the rated R, which I don't think, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be rated R or not, but that's the kind of Batman with that music and that lighting and just that general atmosphere that if they ever put Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in that, it would blend so well into that universe.
Which I still don't think we're ever
No, probably not, but I'm just saying, and if they're gonna focus more on the detective side and make it more like Seven,
yeah, and they are,
dude, this is gonna be one of the coolest fucking iterations of Batman ever. I mean, Ben Affleck, I love him, and I mean, Ben Affleck to me is one of maybe the best Batman to ever exist.
It's either Affleck or Keaton, and to me, there's no other answer.
So the Batsuit was revealed by none other than that gel-head, sprinkly boy looking like a mannequin from 1986, Robert Pattinson. Gonna be the new Batman. Michael, what are you doing? Are you doing a fat Steven Seagal? Stop it. Robert Pattinson, you've got constipation or something. I'm gonna have to get you a Zantac 75. Robert Pattinson is your what are you? Stop it! This is not WCW Monday Nitro. Robert Pattinson is Batman. Batman! You know what I mean? Batman! I'll tell you something. Batman! What do you mean? What is this? Are you getting ready to orgasm? You want to have sex with it? You can't fly, Michael. I don't want to. I'm not gonna bungee jump with you. I'm not gonna fly like an eagle. Stop it! Listen to me. Nobody cares about Martha. Nobody. You went and seen Zorro? You had rich parents? They got killed in Lally. You're still rich. You little spawn bitch. Get over it. I mean, good God. Look at Steve Jobs. Look at Bill Gates. Go do something. Go invent something. Don't go out here running around in your underwear trying to fight crime and vigilante, because you might one day run against this big bastard. This stupid face that will look down on you, and as he's killing you with his knife, because your batarangs do nothing, he'll fart in your mouth. He'll fart because he loses control of himself. Michael, they know this. They can smell you from a mile away. Good God. I mean, when's the last time you changed your underoos?
No, let's get nuts. But this one, I feel like it's going to be a more of a practical approach to Batman, and you're going to have maybe more of a struggle about who he is and what's going on and how he can overcome these feelings, and if he's adequate enough to take on the role of this vigilante and justice for all. But I don't know. But well, I mean, and it's good. Like again. Who would have ever fucking thought, man? Like Robert Pattinson is your Batman. He looks so, and then he looks cool, man. And then somebody was like, I was thinking of Tommy Boy too. He's like, he's got a tiny head. And he's like, oh yeah, like there's some other really big fat guy with a tiny head. He's like, I got a tiny head. Like I was like, his head's tiny. Like that's what you're gonna go at?
It's crazy, man. Because I remember years and years ago, because we've been doing this for so fucking long. I remember making a rant video because they were looking at Robert Pattinson.
I remember
to do Indiana Jones, and we were so pissed about it. But Robert Pattinson continued a trend of some of the greats. I don't know if you can call all these greats, of guys who were in like chick flicks or whatever, because you know he was in Twilight, who were hated by everybody. Or hated by most guys for a long time, who earned the fucking respect of people as they went along.
But even guys had to say that his hair is wondrous.
It is wondrous. But Matthew McConaughey is one of them.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's one of them. Justin Timberlake is one of them.
Yeah.
People used to give him all sorts of shit, but you know he rocks the shit in some of the stuff he does. And I think Robert Pattinson.
I used to think he was a total Streisand, but he's rocking the shit in that one.
That's what I always think of, 40-year-old virgin. But I think Robert Pattinson's the latest one to do that. If you look at his work and you look at what he's done, it's been amazing. So you know, we were 110% hyped when they announced Ben Affleck to be Batman.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of people were fucking pissed.
Dude, there were people losing their fucking minds. Like, the world ended. Like, I mean, it was the coronavirus times 80.
I'll never forget that night. We went to see The Watch that night. Badass movie, by the way.
Yeah.
We went to see The Watch that night that it was announced, but...
That was the Ghostbusters movie we deserved.
It was funny as shit, dude, because I'll never forget that night, because I was actually, at that time, I was writing for the Smozno website, and they were supposed to have me on the podcast that night, but because of the Affleck getting announced, they had to bump it or whatever. But I'll always remember that night, and I always remember just being fucking stoked and so happy for Ben Affleck, because I always liked him. You know, even though he was another one of those guys that a lot of people hated because of Jiggly and shit like that. But I think that... Dude, I think Robert Pattinson's going to rock the shit out of this. I think it's going to be amazing. And I think the suit looks amazing. I think it looks great. I would have rather had Ben Affleck, because this was his movie. Yeah, you know, this was supposed to be his thing. I would have loved to have seen it.
Even if he had been just the director.
Yeah,
like it was based on. I would have gone with that too.
Yeah, exactly.
But nonetheless, I mean, I think that when we ranted on Pattinson back in the day, taking over Indiana Jones, a lot of it was because, in my opinion, and I think back then we were just thinking that he wasn't proven yet to really take the mantle of someone as iconic as Indiana fucking Jones. And there's no way you would buy this guy as being like, you know, like the anti-ripped hero that Harrison Ford was able to embody in the movies, but. He has grown and he's got a lot more depth to him as an actor, and I think that this script, this dark kind of weary, war-torn kind of atmosphere they're gonna build up for him is gonna be perfect. And also, I don't even think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, obviously we're not privy to Matt Reeves' mind or anything. I don't think they're gonna go with the origin stories necessarily anymore. Like, I mean, I think that I think, dude, goddamn,
so
how cool is that though, man? Like, the broken gun parts is making up the bat symbol. That is fucking sick.
I heard someone say, they were on Twitter, they're like, isn't this supposed to be year 1? And someone said that they heard that this is year 2. Like, this is year 2 of Batman. And which is great, because you don't need the origin story of Batman anymore. God, for fuck's sake, we don't need the origin story of Batman anymore. Even if you just... like,
why did you say that name?
I think Batman vs. Superman did it great. If you're going to cover the origin story, do it in the credits real quick with something like that, with that badass music.
I hope they have like one of those line drops in there. It was like, what was her name? It's like, I'm not going to answer that. And then also, speaking of his voice... I don't know. I hope they use a voice modulation because it seems like a simple fix that they did with Snyder's cut with Batman. Like as far as like just it made it Batman had a voice modulation so he didn't have to talk like he's had to take a
I'd
shit.
have to hear Pattinson do his Batman.
Think that, but the whole I know, but Kevin Conroy was the only guy that I think could pull it off really well. Kevin Conroy from the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
There's no other guy like Keaton was really good at doing it too. And Kilmer and Clooney, I guess in some way, but Christian Bale just took it to another level that now it's a joke. And to me, it always made sense that Batman would try to disguise his identity to the maximum effort he could. And he's rich enough that he could just buy a voice modulation box and then just. And I know it takes place. I guess it's going to take place in the '90s, like '94 or 90.
I don't know.
I thought it was a mid '90s.
That'd be dope though.
Well, I thought that's what they were doing. I thought it was like a mid '90s kind of Batman. I don't know. I mean, if it's not, it's not. But either way, the technology would exist. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But another thing, I think that's where the real clue is going to be for me, though. I know that Pattinson can play dark and damaged characters. Like I think he's proved that. I think he can do it. But he's got like a youngish face.
So can my wife.
I will not go inside that area with you. But he's got like a fucking boyish Elijah Woodish face. Like he just looks like a fucking hobbit that never grew old.
I think he's a little grizzled. Remember Good Tom?
I know, but he'll look like, you know what? We'll see how he looks, because I mean, if he's got his tux on and he's sitting in the back of the limo being very depressed, I just don't want it to look like he's like mad that he didn't get invited to the Social Network or like reunion, because he's mad that someone stole his fucking idea.
Well, it's funny because you say him in a suit in a limo. He actually did a movie called Cosmopolitan.
That's where I was, but he looked like he could have been the Social Network.
He looks like Bruce Wayne, and that's the thing too with these guys. It's like either you're you got to be Bruce Wayne and you got to be Batman.
Well, that's the thing. No, what I'm saying is like
Christian Bale was a great fucking Bruce Wayne.
Well, yeah, that's
Batman.
I think that's what I'm saying. Like I think that what's going to be the tale of the tape is whether or not he's able to pull off, like he could pull off an incredible Batman and he could pull off a pretty dunce kind of Bruce Wayne. Like, because sometimes, and I'm not saying that he wouldn't be able to act it, but you know, you got to believe that he is grizzled, like that he's seen some shit. I say it, but you know, you got to believe it. And if you don't believe it, and he just looks too boyish and too young, and he doesn't really know the world, it's not going to come off the same way. Like there was a lot of Michael Keaton was great. It could do dual. Like he did both really well. Val Kilmer was actually underrated because Val Kilmer could pull off Bruce Wayne really effectively and Batman. George Clooney, not so much.
In the '90s, in the time it happened.
Yeah,
if you watch his Bruce Wayne now, you'd be like, "What the fuck is George Clooney?" Like he works the perfume counter at JCPenney.
What you know about them red dot tickets? But George Clooney was a really good Bruce Wayne. Yeah, he was a terrible Batman, but he was a great Bruce Wayne.
And no nipples on this Batsuit. Someone on Twitter pointed out to me, by the way. But yeah,
it's going to be great. I mean, I don't understand the hate already. Like, it's coming out of nowhere.
Also, that was, by the way, that's not a trailer. A lot of people are referring to it as a trailer. It's not a
test screen.
It's not a trailer. It's a test screen. Like, they wanted to see what it looked like on camera, and it looked so fucking dope that they decided to let all of us see it too.
It sounds like somebody on the crew that didn't know. It's like, this is a secret test screening. No one should know about that. And this guy was like, he's like, don't touch. He's like, which one? This? And he hit a button and it just went out, and they already had the music. And you wonder if they were playing that music just for Robert Pattinson to get him into the character. They're like, listen, we're gonna dim the lights and we're gonna have like this red smoke, and we're gonna have this music going.
It'll make you laugh if you watch closely, because as the camera's turning towards him, he's going.
You know what's weird is like, you gotta imagine you're in there. There's like 15 people that are like filming you and they're taking pictures to get principal photography or whatever, and they're like, it's like, you gotta come in like, you're the justice. It's like, you're the vigilante of the night. And like, there's parts, like, you gotta pretend that you're in your car and the music comes on, and you gotta pretend that you're a superhero. It's not like when you're in the car. I do that all the time. Totally like when you're in your car by yourself and you're like driving, and a particular song comes on, and you just act like you're in a movie, and you're just like, and you're like looking up.
Talking about every time you're driving at night alone and you listen to the drive soundtrack.
You look everywhere dramatically. You're like, you look out, and that's why what they had is like, you just pretend like you're that person in the car, and like he's like.
I can do that.
Because it's like, it'd be so awkward, but
the whole thing would be awkward, dude. And by the way, the guy, apparently the guy who did the music for that is doing the score, because I saw on Twitter, and I can't remember the guy's name. I never heard it before myself. For some reason, I thought Zimmer was doing this score, which would have made sense, but that score was dope as shit.
It was great.
And this guy said, he was like, someone was like, that sounds like so-and-so, and the guy was like, yeah, that was me. And then somebody else, I think it was Matt Reeves or somebody, was like, wait till you hear the rest of it. So that dude's doing the whole score, and that was his score.
You know what it reminded me of? It felt like a horror movie vibe, but it reminded me a lot of like a John Carpenter kind of feel for a Halloween. Sure. It kind of had a Halloweenish feel to it. Like, I don't know, because
his eyes fucking scared me.
I think what they were
close into those eyes. Mm-hmm. You won't shit right for a month.
Because have you ever tried to get outside those eyes? I didn't even know I was making out with them until I got home. But no, but the truth is, it really reinvented in just that moment their Batman. It's their Batman. And I think we were talking a little bit with my brother in a group text, but we were talking about it, and I think what I was saying, and I think that you guys agree with it as well, I think that Matt Reeves wants to distance himself as much as possible from all the other Batman that have come before it, and would sprinkle it with a little bit of Nolan and Snyder, but that's it. He doesn't want any kind of connection to it. Now, I'm not saying that Hans Zimmer's fucking incredible, like he's great, but if they bring in Hans Zimmer to do any of the score, that's fine. But this guy really nailed it, dude. Like for me, like the vision that Matt Reeves has, like I think that keeping this guy would be the way to go.
I think different is the way to go. I'm not going to say the word here, but what you can't do is you can't go full Tropic Thunder. You know what I mean?
You can't go simple. You can't go simple Jack.
Don't go doing crazy shit now. Like make everything feel different. Make the sound, the score, the look, all that shit different. But don't do anything too fucking crazy with Batman now. It is Batman. You can't do some fucking weird shit.
For some reason, that shit smelled just like bologna.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie.